I was in education department. We're out in Westtown, and the 12th District Community Policing Office spied out event in the parking lot of the United Center. And so they had invited us to be there to tell the community about our programs. Along with, so we had a tent set up, but the tents were set up in the rain, and then it was time for their event to start and stop. The sun came out, and it ended up being lovely. So people come out. They did. They really did. And I was just pleased. They had a nice little ceremony at the beginning. Everybody. They had some mounted police, and they had the police helicopter fly over, and they had a bag. Had the colors, and they had an officer sing the national anthem, and it was amazing. You know, a cappella, beautiful. It was kind of moving. Very nice. And then, of course, the big hit of the night was the drum tank. and lots of different entertainment. A DJ there. There was food. There was face painting for the kids, and I had my percussion instructor there with his djembe drum and some cymbals, and we set up the buckets and invited everybody to just wow. So it ended up being a fine evening, but things were a little wet. Yeah. Up to, you can drum that. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, because it certainly invites people in. Anyone wants to talk at it.
They play it.
Okay, that could be a little difficult to. Well,
but they're better than the trumpet player.
Yeah, I haven't heard him this year.
Just once.
Okay.
He does not play at all well, and I think it feels like if he plays louder, it's better. And last year, he kept playing just about like the first 12 bars somewhere over over and over. Off key.
And he didn't get any better, huh? No. You need to send him to our school, I think.
Give that man a flyer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, an interesting crowd at little corner. I've been there 7 years.
I've been with the Alliance in some form for 10 years this year.
In that location?
Not in that location. When I started with them, they were at 17 North State. And they've been in that location for about 4 years.
Grant.
Oh.
Hi, Todd. I'm Judy.
I'm Judy.
Tommy. Good to meet you, friend. Thanks for coming out.
Not a problem. They told me I have to be social with someone.
You really are.
Still seems to be broadcasting. Cool. Well, then they've heard all about the National Night Out and me complaining about the rain. But I will say the broadcast is great, because I was able to hear the presentation even though I couldn't be here. So it's very useful.
Really?
I didn't know that you guys did.
Oh, they were swearing?
I was listening so after the fact. Yeah. I am innocent as to the foul language. Yeah, so really good.
I'll make a point of swearing in different languages.
Well, the whole meetup is kind of a work in progress. So I realized, thanks to LinkedIn, that this was my 1-year anniversary of being an organizer for this.
Well, congratulations.
So, and
yeah, we toasted you with our water bottles. So
yeah, thank you. Thank you. And so like the group itself has existed and then not existed, and it's had an organizer, it's not had an organizer. So some of this is just you know, a rebuilding process. And so hopefully with consistency, people will realize that, you know, it's worth it to come out. So, and then Eli, who runs, you know, he's the coordinator for all of the NetSquared meetups, you know, worldwide. He was highly recommending that we figure out a way to live stream our events. And
you have.
So yes, it's a very high tech. I just did a YouTube live account, and I bring my laptop, and you know, like it works most of the time. It's good most of the time, but some of the things that the glitches that I've had are that I haven't always brought my laptop charger cord, and so I battery power, and so like the whole presentation wasn't necessarily there. So there may be hiccups if you know go back through and see some of what's up there. But you know, it's a nice reference, and you know, Brian's PowerPoint and Word presentations are really good.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you need help with those types of things, feel free to go to the, you know, just put in NetSquared Chicago or my name, and you should get the short list of.
Yeah, you know, it's amazing what technology is available to small organizations at no cost today that wasn't there 10, 15 years ago. And how many of the organizations aren't taking advantage. It's not.
For a number of different reasons, absolutely.
And some of it is for
you have to take time to save time.
Yeah. And for nonprofit people, like they want to do a mission. Like and you talk to them, well, you can do your mission better. It's like I don't want to spend time. You know, I don't have the time. I want to do, you know, I want to serve my I want to teach kids music. I want to, you know, and that's some of what it is that fall into.
Well, and I think there are those of us who know that it could save us and know that it's better, but it's a matter of implementation and having staffing to be able to do that.
And it's something that's more than right tool.
Well, exactly.
You know, I use one is the one that'll work. And that's really that brings us around what the was for this evening, Tech Thursday, because we realized that we had a number of community businesses and organizations that were in the technology that were surviving but not thriving. And that technology was going to be something that was going to benefit the growth of their businesses and in many cases the stabilization of some of our communities. And I got my first contract with the Department of Commerce in 2010. We were charged with increasing the digital literacy in 5 low-income communities in the city. That one Chicago, 39% of the households in Chicago did not have effective access to the internet. So people just weren't using it, they didn't know what to do. And we trained between that now about 18,000. What we found out though was that we were jeopardizing the flow of business to some of the community businesses because now our folks were on Amazon. So we're delivering stuff. They realized that if I go online, I've got all these opportunities that I didn't know I had before. So they're shopping. And the local vendors down the street aren't getting the children to shoot sold anymore. Or hair care products sold, that stuff. So we quickly had to figure out how do we get these businesses online and make them available to the community that can service them. That's part of how we came for the last 6 years. We've filled the seats of our conference centers with businesses that just want to know how do I do this? Which applications work for me? Who can I hire to get it done? Because I'm not going to do it. We have about 50 speakers or so that come in volunteer at the time. This year we had a free class for you can come in 2 hours after this. We have a basic social media page built. No excuses.
Yeah.
I've seen
Keep
people
going,
before
you got
you.
somebody there who's gonna, build out Salesforce and build out a Google AdGrants,
Oh, I'm looking forward to having you come in again. We were talking about that before you came. I was like, so I'm for it. 20% of my attendees, 15 to 20% are nonprofits. They're gladly.
We were talking about, Salesforce, because Salesforce, our September speaker is Salesforce. So I have a question. It was the most popular topic last year. It seems to be I had some people sign up today and said, one asked, why did you sign up? My interest in Salesforce, so,
Good.
They don't necessarily offer products discounted through tech. So a lot of people
They'll give it free. They'll give you the 10 license for free. But you gotta learn how to use it.
Right. And Salesforce implementation can be complicated. It can take time, and can be incredibly expensive. So
Free doesn't always mean free.
Right. And that's, we had a different speaker the last time around. And so one of his slides on his presentation was this cartoon, and it said free puppies. And he's like, Salesforce is like getting a puppy, you get puppies free. The rest of it is incredibly expensive. And, Dale was great because he was very honest and upfront and willing to talk to people, So, and Cassie, has worked with Salesforce for a while. It sounds like, and she actually works at a nonprofit using Salesforce. So I'm sure that she'll also have some insight as to whether or not, because Dale was saying for some size nonprofit, Salesforce is just not going to work for you. It's just not going to do what you need it to do. So, and I was saying to them, like the guy that I went through my web developer boot camp, he is on board with a nonprofit, and we were talking about Salesforce, and he said for that nonprofit, when they implemented Salesforce, implementation was $100,000. And there are so many nonprofits that just can't, that is a terrifying risk, right? For a nonprofit to spend $100,000 on technology, even if they'll massively recoup that over time. But if it doesn't work, you have to do a very angry part, right? That just community, right?
Smart staff.
So
that's hard to justify.
Yeah.
Your size.
So what's the small nonprofit alternative? That's what I always wanted to analyze. There's so many different CRMs out there.
right, and that's some of what it is. That's some of what is that's what it is that I kind of want to build on solve. Because a lot of what nonprofits need isn't just CRM. They need other types of applications. Sure. They need CRM type solutions, but that's not the full answer to a lot of what nonprofits need. So
I'm trying to remember if it's N10 or TechSoup, but one of them has a really good guide to CRMs, and part of it is, how big is your organizations and what things do you want the CRM to do, and then it rates, I forget, 20, 30 different CRMs.
Look, it sounds like something that would be in the TechSoup library, I wonder.
Yeah.
and if it's not N10, So I'm more familiar with the TechSoup website myself. So, and off the top of my head, I don't know that, but I wasn't looking for that particularly. So, because for this, a lot of what revolves around is stalking people on LinkedIn or stalking people at 1871 and just pestering them to see if they'll help you speaker. Okay, I'm going to do a quick sweep to see if anybody's looking confused. Walking around. You back? So the other one too that I wanted to mention, tomorrow night here at the auditorium at 1871, there's an 1871 startup. It's called Academia. They do documentary shorts, and So I'm hoping to get some of their documentaries to come out and give a talk about how to put up video, how to
Tell your
shoot
story.
video, how to tell your story. So, but her award ceremony for her winning documentary shorts is tomorrow night here at 1871. It starts at 5:30 and it's an auditorium. So if you're at all interested in documentary shorts, feel free to come out. It's free.
What brought you here? The social checkbox, very important.
Once upon a time, I lived with
Say that again.
I put the American Medical Association journals on.
Wow. Wow.
Or the turn of the century, because it sounds more sophisticated that way. And I'm in town for 3 weeks cat sitting, and have been thinking of moving back, so curious what's going on in the space. So I'm doing a lot of that here.
Where are you in town from?
I had some family illnesses that required my attention for about 12 years. Serial things, if you will.
It didn't happen that way.
Oh, it did. It was my turn.
Where now?
25 minutes north by northwest of Quad Cities. I got to come to it from
We spent.
I found out phone call while I was walking over here. Where I live, they only evacuate one block and they blow the gas main.
That's all you needed.
Okay.
That's what I thought. Get in the car personally.
We spent a lot of time in Moline because my grandpa used to work for John Deere.
And it won't be well.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Whitey's ice cream?
Yeah, that's my father's gold standard. The one time I wanted to be in the comic book store over in Iowa City. I just looked at him and said, why don't you go get some ice cream? There's Whitey's over there.
Yeah. So
I successfully told my father to go get some ice cream. But it's good ice cream.
I don't know what they put in it, but it was
It must be good ice cream. It's all the way up in 1871.
Right.
Must be really good.
It's up there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's just some secret ingredient.
Do your Tech Thursday events all stay in the same place, or do they move around the neighborhoods?
They started in the neighborhoods, but as they grew, we moved to a central location. So we're not far from the United States, over at West Jackson. Well, yeah, now we're in the city limits. Now where we are is it's a short trip, CTA, dive, walk. You can get there. Consider it like anything else. Parking can be a challenge. Right?
No, something.
So the fact that the parking lot attached to it that's multi-level free is a big plus.
Parking is still allowed.
You hang out with me,
That's a
Yeah,
bitch.
free
That's a bitch.
feed you good, got your own breakfast. Once I got you, I got you till 5. Lock the door.
Almost sounds like Google.
No, they are our largest sponsor, so might have something to do with it.
Did you hear how they are attempting to ban companies from putting in a kitchen feeding their employees in San Francisco?
It's really not tax. It's not a tax write-off anymore. The new tax.
Oh no, they're trying to outlaw building the kitchen. If you got one right now, you can keep it. They decided that it's really a backlash to, I was out there for a while. So I'm It's gotten wackier since I've been going. So they decided, you know, the restaurants are getting enough business because you're all eating it. And you should have to mix the rest of us. And there is a component in that last word that isn't totally crazy. Because you've got a lot of people. It's the only place I've ever been where if you're an engineer, the only time you aren't talking to another engineer is if you order food. And most of them, I don't say buying food because they're going to order groceries to be delivered. So, and there is a bit of that going on. It's really strange. You sort of have to be there for a while and just look around, and after about a week, you'll start picking up on it. There's a certain level of socialization that doesn't happen. I did 3 years of engineering in college. I understand you have an engineering exam, you're not doing much of a study, so you don't get to talk to many people. Normally, you start talking to quote unquote normal humans once you graduate. It can be tunnel vision. And enough of them try and run a 70-hour week at you on top of it. It's an interesting environment.
Not for me.
Well, until things settle down out there, it's not going to be for me.
Yeah, I'm a little too social.
The prices have just gotten so crazy out there.
Well, you know what should you sell for? If you're lucky, 2
million?
Oh no, 2,000 a month.
2,000 a month? Oh, okay. Yeah. That's cheap.
The report that came out last week that the income that you needed to be able to rent a 2-bedroom apartment, to have it take, I guess, the recommended percentage of your income on house 28 to 30 was $187,000.
Well,
Was the income for a 2-bedroom apartment.
You are federally considered income and eligible for aid at 171 and change.
In California.
For a family.
And here in Cook County, that's 84.6. Well, and you have different levels. There's low income, very low income, and extremely low income. And their percentages of that median, 84.6.
Really? All of that? Just to say broke?
Yeah.
I mean, what's,
Yes.
I mean, that's just putting punishment on people. No, I'm not very low income. I'm just low income.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took off in 11 after the first purge at Columbia College. And I will say rents are up 50% around here.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
We did a bit of a double take when I was looking around.
Yeah, and Google moving into the West Side has really blown the realms up. It's just some fun.
Yeah,
But that's the way things go.
I was telling
They're going,
everyone,
but they never go down.
Facebook coming is not necessarily a good thing.
Be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not.
What's
Oh,
the
they're not.
timing? What's the timing
Right.
on their announcement? I don't.
I feel like DC.
I must be almost be willing to cut one side or DC or the other. They don't try it in the middle of both sides unless there's a good interest. And I'm sure Chicago's included, just so they can say, well, hey, this is what they're giving us.
The nice thing about Chicago is that we still have a more diversified economy within the city. So that's a nice thing. It's not heavily, like, we have a financial sector, but it's not as big as Wall Street. And it doesn't necessarily govern the city the way Wall Street can govern New York City. And we have a good sized tech base. We have some serious tech companies here, but it's not Silicon Valley to where that's all we are. So, and we have a lot of other, we have cosmetic companies, we still have candy companies, we still have pharmaceutical, pharmaceutical companies. So we have.
It's three bears. This is just right. Not too big, not too small, not too far east, not too far west. We got our own news in the ocean. I like Chicago.
I think that as climate change makes the coasts more difficult to live, this is going to be the place. We've got fresh water, we're going to have a decent climate.
I agree. That's some of the reason you like.
If you have real
It's a long-term plan.
yeah, it's a long-term
No
plan.
hurricanes, no fires.
I have family in Arizona and Texas, and at some point in time, you run out of water. You're moving back to Chicago. You're gonna be like, I don't mind shoveling because it means we still have water.
I don't know, but there was a January, I
I'm just gonna do
called
one
my
more
father
sweep
on
and
the
then.
phone,
Yeah, whatever you want.
and I said to him, "No, Dad, it's raining. I don't have to shovel rain." And he didn't think that was nearly as funny as I did.
I think there's no rain.
Yeah.
You guys, what's up west?
Until walk around this.
I just don't like the gray sky. I like it's cold if the sun will come out. Be bright and 20 below, I'm okay with that. But it's gray. Mhm.
What I want in the city, it's gray all the time. So.
Yeah.
It's also interesting. Everything that I'm hearing right now is tipping right on the edge whether it's going to go San Francisco problems or not.
Okay, thanks.
So did everybody find out about this on meetup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly can't remember.
Just pervasive marketing is everywhere. Couldn't tell you where. And you had been to one before, is that right? Is that how you know?
No, I've tried to come before and had things
you
come
just
up.
listened to it.
So I just
Yeah.
listened to it.
And you found out about it on Meetup as well.
Yeah. And then TechSoup had an event in June that was Microsoft TechSoup joint sponsored event. And fairly certain they promoted the NetSquared group as well. There's a guy who was here before Jeremy who was at that event.
Yeah, he's here all.
Yes.
Are you getting technology or?
Chad is on today with a very small staff, but I am, of all of the people that you could speak with at Chime, I'm the only non-musician. So I'm the business manager. So yes, I do the technology, I don't even play the
I sound like a drummer.
Yeah. Yeah, so yes, technology, facility, financial, did the trash get taken out?
Sure.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. I do not teach children. That would be the one. It happens at Chime, but I do not. Yes, and I shouldn't say children because we teach adults as well. And I don't.
It's fascinating that you all are doing that because I admit the fact that they take music out of the schools.
Well, that's why we send our teachers into Chicago Public Schools. So we partner with them.
Good. Thank you.
Awesome. They're doing good things in the schools. So,
Shall we?
Yeah, why not? Get the show on the road.
Alright. Do you want to say anything or are we just going to kick it off?
Do you want me to sing?
No, that's great.
This is
All
Grant.
Nice.
All right.
Hi, everyone. My name's Grant. I work about 50 feet that way at 1871. Not for 1871, but at Space. We help nonprofits with the UI grant, and so, and we met.
Yeah. We met at a workshop here at 1871.
Yeah, IT security. I
Yeah.
downloaded a what's it called? like a little, the thing that makes your, whatever. I don't want to scare the thing, it's great. Out of that, leave it, so very productive. I would love to just hear, and I know kind of what you're looking to get out of this. I'd love to hear what everyone is trying to get out of this, because I have a little deck, but we can also make it much more customized than that. So you.
So my issue is we had Google AdGrants, and it got attention, and then didn't get attention, and then got attention, and we were kind of keeping it going. Earlier this year, they changed the rules. You had to keep it going. You needed your attention. We did not give it that attention, so we have they have canceled our AdGrant account, and we need to reactivate our AdGrant account. So that's where I am.
Good.
I am representing about 25 nonprofits that are clients of mine. I'm in the sales and marketing firm. And AdGrants is anathema to a lot of these smaller nonprofits that they don't really know how to effectively leverage this offer. But as I was sharing with Rand earlier, many of them are prepared anyway. Their websites aren't prepared, their content isn't prepared, because you really need to have an organized approach to all of the support that you're going to get from Google. So I was glad to know that you were coming out, because I'm in the process of my first nonprofit, building a relationship with NPM last week. I got the notice that they were approved for the AdGrant, and we're about to start the 30-day trial with NPM. So I'm here to see the founder hold his feet to the fire.
Choose getting good with the CEO so that he can get some good deals.
Hey, sorry, I give you 10,000 a month.
We appreciate it.
So I got our organization a Google AdGrant a few years ago.
Oh, wow.
And at that time, did some setup, and then our goals changed. So all the stuff that had been working was for program areas that we are no longer involved with anymore. And we have finished a rebuild. We changed our website, we changed our CRM, we've changed all these things. We've changed our donation tool, our advocacy tools. So we're almost in a position now where I can really get back into it. The last piece is that we're trying to set up Google Tag Manager so that we can really understand where our conversions are happening, because there's all these different pieces, parts. And once that's done, I want to go to town on AdWords. So looking for how to do it.
I'm just interested in a general overview on how it works and what you do. As I was saying, I got Google for nonprofits for my church, and it is something that has been on my list to investigate, but haven't gotten around to it. So this would be a good thing to learn. You might have it.
Sprinkler. I'm here to learn something new today.
Beautiful. We can deliver that. That we can deliver. So, anything else? No promises. Okay, beautiful. So, most people are familiar with the Google grant, so we'll blaze through that section kind of quickly. I want to be respectful. I don't know if there's anyone on live stream. If there is, we'll go through it quickly. There's an adaptation.
It's always good reference too.
So we'll talk about that. Talk about it again. Talk about what you do with it. I'm Q&A for that on my presentations. Just totally possessed. And it's no reason.
So that thing you said you downloaded a virus?
It's called, what's the word for where it's like a
Ransomware?
private IP?
Oh,
Media. Thank you. Yeah, okay. We're just gonna do it this way. How do you get it? What can I do with it? What are the rules? We'll talk about the compliance rules, and we'll talk about how to get back if compliance has been an issue, and then Q&A. And then afterwards, we can just do Q&A, and I'm also happy to help with stuff. So like we could set up Google Tag Manager right now. If you have your computer, we can, you know, but it's not too hard. So quickly, the Google AdGrant, what is it? How can it help me? So I'm guessing everyone has seen Google searches and also
Gotta get it back
ads.
up.
Oh boy. So I'm guessing everyone has seen Google searches. When you type in something at the top, you'll notice that everything at the very top is actually an ad. It says it in little text. And then every time someone clicks, someone pays money. And typically it's the business or the nonprofit. But in case of the Google AdGrant, actually Google pays for it, which is very nice. The AdGrant was created by Cheryl Sandberg like 10 years ago. So you guys were really early on in the process. If you got it 8 years ago. Cheryl Sandberg wrote Lean In, which is actually very famous. Yeah, I guess. She's now on Facebook, but she created it so that nonprofits could be other businesses. A lot of people ask, why have I not heard of this? We did a survey when we started, and
We have an accidental
Beautiful.
attendee.
incredible.
So come on in. I'm
Right.
Linda. Okay. I'm done. Okay. Sit down. I am Jill.
Joe.
Jill, I'm sorry, Brian.
Judy.
Judy.
Cindy.
Cindy.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, he goes, actually, I was looking for Chelsea just across. I worked for a nonprofit organization in the past.
Okay.
So,
Oh, yeah. There you go. So we were talking about the Google AdGrant. What is it and how do you use it? What it is it lets you run ads in Google search. Google gives you $10,000 a month of free credit forever to spend on those ads. So it's like a marketing brand. Which Google pays for. Cheryl Sandberg started. I haven't heard about it because any number of surveys when we started up, 75% of organizations had not heard of it that we surveyed. And then the second question was, if more people were coming to your website and learning about what you do, how impactful would that be? And also, very effective. So really quickly, broad scale, how it works, you choose goals, which you're talking about. Sometimes these goals change, but you choose goals. So like promoting an upcoming leadership conference, advertising for volunteers, and reaching service recipients. You then choose keywords. So what types of things would people actually be searching? And there's tons of granular control you have for that. So if we're promoting a leadership conference, we'd probably be looking for people searching for resources for leaders, leadership conferences, leadership retreats. We would then create ads, which show up in this format. So like global leadership conference, research for emerging leaders, send people to a specific landing page, and then we measure and optimize it. And there's a lot you can do. Split testing different ads, different landing pages, different targeting. And you can actually see an enormous amount. So what can I track? Almost anything. You can see what types of devices people are searching for. This is actual data from all of the accounts that we manage at 120. So you can see what day more people are, in this case, clicking, and then you can drill into it. So I was looking at this today, it's actually kind of interesting. More people are clicking on our ads on Monday and Tuesday, and then it drops off during the week, which is kind of strange. So we dug into it. Is that because the click-through rate, that's what CTR means, so the percentage of people who see your ads who are clicking on it, is the click-through rate higher? A little bit, not really. Is it because the position is different? So is our ad showing up higher on the page and that's getting more clicks? Nope, not really. Pretty much the same. So then let's look at conversions. What are people actually doing when they click? As we'd expect, more so on Monday, which is kind of expected. What's our conversion rate? So what percentage of people that click are actually doing something interesting? This is where, so now we're finally getting to an actual insight. This is our first insight of the day. Weekdays, for whatever reason, across all 100 of our accounts, perform better in terms of conversions than weekends, which is interesting. And therefore, the cost of conversion is lower on weekdays than weekends. Now we have to figure out why is that, how do we improve our weekend conversion rates? What's the difference? And should we be advertising for different keywords to reach people in a different frame of mind? So you can dig into this endlessly, and that's what we have 12 people, and they're total data nerds, and they just dig into this stuff all the time. So anyway, so you can see almost anything. Really quick, get anything the Google brand, just in case. Want to say. First thing is, are you a member of Google for Nonprofits, which is just google.com/nonprofits. If you're not, then register with TechSoup, which we love. Thank you, TechSoup. If you're not registered with TechSoup, you have to register with them. You get this validation token. You can use that to apply for. You then install Google Analytics on your website or Google Tag Manager, and then you're ready to apply. If you already have TechSoup, easy, just get your validation token and go for it. And if you're already a member of Google for Nonprofits, you have really hit the lottery, and you can just go ahead and apply. There are horror stories associated with all of this, so 1,000 things can go wrong, and we've seen all of them. We have a full-time person who only helps people with this process. We have one account where a spammer pretended to be the nonprofit, got the ad grant on their behalf. This was years ago, before we had relationships with people at Google, so we called support. They're like, no, you clearly are not doing good things. We're like, no, it wasn't us, it was someone else. We FedExed a letter to the head of the program and said, please help us. And she totally did. She wrote back, said, I'd be happy to. Took that month. And everything's back running. So let me know if you have horror stories. Quickly, things that you can use the Google Ad Grant for. These I think are fun. So we have a number of organizations using it. This is an organization that's using it to build their email list. They have e-cards that you can send to people, and when you send an e-card, you put in your email address, and they collect it, and they build that, and build their email list, and they nurture people, and they can use a donate over time, which is a really effective strategy that we would definitely recommend. This is a core organization where they need volunteers. They need volunteers and interns. Usually they get 2 volunteer intern applications a month. Now they can get 10 a month, all coming through the Google Ad Grant, because that's actually something people are searching for in their area. This is a fun story. This organization works with people with disabilities and sort of more challenging circumstances. They have classes that they do, like arts and crafts, and they use a lot of yarn. And so they need yarn to be donated, so we created a specific ad group, an ad for donate yarn. And a month ago, someone donated a huge amount of bulk acrylic yarn because they literally searched for donate yarn. And this was, we were the only one, surprisingly. We outcompeted everyone else for that. Which speaks to, we can talk more about this, when you have it, being really specific is better. So donate is a horrible ad to run. No one, unfortunately, searches donate. I just would like to donate. No, actually, it's that. Donate to this cause is better. Donate this thing to this cause is better. And donate yarn to support education is sort of the gold standard. So the more you can get your ads to be really specific like that, 1,000 really specific ads instead of a couple broad ones, it would be more impactful over time. So anyway, that's a fun story. Youth Master Swimming, their organization, they use it to get new members and to renew members, and actually generate a lot of revenue from that. They generate like $4,000 a month from people who click on the ads and then renew. They're larger, they're national, so whatever, but that is cool. Habitat for Humanity, we have a bunch of Habitat for Humanity clients who do donation pickups. So has anyone heard of Habitat for Humanity restores? Mm-hmm. So you can donate household cabinets even, or refrigerators, things like that. So they have ad groups for each individual thing that you could donate, 20 or 30 different ad groups, and people donate all the time, like 30 or so pickups a month, which is very cool. Omaha Symphony. It's great symphony in Omaha. They use it to sell tickets, which is unsurprising. This is a PJCC, they're a Jewish Community Center in the Bay Area in San Francisco, and they use it to get new members. So we target really specifically their exact area for people interested in fitness and these get new members. They're interesting. They actually have an AdGrants account and a paid account. They have more budget, and they use them to play off of each other. So if keywords aren't as competitive, they'll shift it over to the AdGrants account. They'll pay real money for it, or if it's more competitive, they'll use their paid account. Kind of systematically target that. I would love, so for those of us who are running it or have, I'd love to hear what you guys wanted to or would like to use the AdGrant for, just to get a sense.
To get our programs out there to attract students.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we weren't using it for donor purposes at this point. It was just simply to fill classes.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
lessons and stuff.
Very cool. Specifically in Chicago, or just in Chicago?
Yeah, just in Chicago.
And for us, building our email list, and there's a bunch of different ways that can happen. Either people can sign up for email, or people can take action on an action alert, or they can volunteer with our volunteer program. And all of those things involve the option to sign up for the email list.
Yeah, taking action is another great way to build email lists because it's easy. People expect to get their email. Once you build a robust list. And do you work with a nonprofit now, or are you in the past?
In the past.
Okay.
So I myself have a consultant in the database, big data.
Oh, very cool.
I come to the meetings quite frequently. So yeah, I was trying to bring someone, but I completely disappointed. But yeah, when I heard about this topic of utilizing technology for nonprofit, something in me said, wow, yes, I like knowing what it is, you know.
Definitely.
Not doing all this evolution, technology, and other domains. This towards non-profit equally non-profit for good, I would say in general. And specifically non-profit is more like a social cause, social responsibility, where other organizations are taking it as an initiative, as well as there's a dedicated organizations who are primary focus is to help the people using the technology. So I'm an audience technology. I'm just trying to understand what it is.
Definitely. Yeah, that's great. That's so fun that you walked in. I appreciate it. Okay, cool. So what are the rules? Compliance. Dun-dun-dun. There used to be almost no rules. In the good old days of December 31st, 2018, you had to check on it every once in a while. It was like once a quarter. And you had to not advertise for things that weren't going into your mission. And that was almost it. And so people, you can set it up to a certain degree and just let it ride. This caused a problem for Google because the quality of the ads was significantly less good than their paid ads because it was so easy to set up and all this money. And so it was actually degrading the search experience for the average user. And so someone at Google got my ad and said, we need to improve the quality of this. We're going to so they said, okay, we'll put into place all these compliance rules, which came into effect on January 1st. They fall into a couple of big categories. So now you have to have, in an account, the campaign is the biggest topic. So let's say leadership conference is one of my campaigns. And then I have a work for us campaign and an intern for us campaign. Within each campaign, you have to have at least 2 ad groups. Ad groups are words, ads, go to the land page. So if you're in leadership conference, you could have resources creators could be an ad group, and then leadership retreats could be an ad group, leadership conferences, so different takes on it. You have to have at least 2 always. And then each ad group has to have at least 2 ads in it. And they'll run against each other. Google will, over time, pick the one that's better. But it means there's at least some optimization going on. So now you have to do that. You didn't used to. You also have to have extensions. So under the ads, I've never seen those little links that will show up under the ad. It'll be like Red Cross, donate, volunteer, about. You have to have those now because it's the rule. And you also have to use really relevant geo-targeting. So you can't, if you're in Chicago, you have to target just Chicago. You can't target the Midwest, which is within reason. So the big thing is countries and global targeting. People would target the globe, which does not go over well.
Is this differently if you're a national organization?
Yes, it does. So if you're national, you're allowed to target national, and if you're truly international, are allowed to, although they
It flag support.
basically, yeah. So we do it for Rotary, which is truly international. It's called Rotary International. Really?
Text for that's for test school.
Oh wow. Okay.
A lot of questions there.
That's fun. Yeah. So they and some of this just like you from the trenches. This geotargeting thing is not perfect in terms of their so Rotary guts. We're like, come on, people. Really calm. We went through all this process and everything. Oh yes, I guess it is.
It's a legitimate
Right.
organization.
They have a million members. Yeah. And so it got unsuspended. We'll talk about how to do that. For keywords, this is important. You can't use a keyword that's only one word. Even if it's your brand name. If it's your brand name, you have to ask them specifically. And there's a form to go through to ask them. It's a little bit of a hassle. And also no low quality stored keywords. Every keyword's rated from 1 to 10 on how high quality of an experience you're delivering for the searcher based on does the keyword match your ad, does the ad match your landing page, and is the landing page useful? If the keyword's quality store is none of these two, you have to remove it from the email. You actually can't even pause it. You just have to totally take it out.
But they're the ones that determine what the quality score is.
Correct.
So
And you can see it.
You can put this together, but until they evaluate it, they really won't know.
I think I want to press.
They got a little. They got a little aggressive.
I know.
Yeah. And it happens at the end of the month. So at the end of the month, the algorithm will evaluate, are you in compliance? And if you're not in compliance on any of these things, they will then suspend the account. Although it's not, it's weird. Like almost all the time it'll happen, but sometimes it won't, which is just strange. There's some things that are very weird. The biggest ones of performance, you have to achieve a 5% click-through rate. This is typically the hardest one, especially for legacy accounts, where maybe 2 or 3 out of every 100 people are clicking your ads. Now you have to get it up to at least 5 out of every 100 are, which can be done by making everything more specific. So your donate ad, you got 1% click-through rate, donate yarn in whatever, it's going to get like a 10% click-through rate, and you just have got to move towards that side.
Can you have a little bit of variance in that by time?
Absolutely, yes. And so for some of our clients where it's harder to, where they have more topics that are harder, we will actively think of things like, okay, what can we get a good click-through rate on just to bring the average up so that they can still advertise for these really impactful things that are actually harder to get advice on. So yeah.
Creative uses of word free.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Active management, you have to be doing something each month. You have to use maximize conversions bidding, which is actually good. This is one of the good changes. Before you had to bid dollars max for every click. Now you can bid maximize conversions, and it will bid more than that if it determines it's possible. You have that conversion track, which is the next point. Yeah, but that actually does help. So now you can bid more than $2 per click. Conversion tracking, you have to have Google Analytics set up and be tracking conversions that are meaningful. They just made a new rule like 2 weeks ago that if too many conversions are happening, you'll also get suspended. Which, like, come on, people.
Why would that be the case?
Well, because they are trying to use the conversion tracking to report success for the program as a whole. And if people are setting like view the home page as a donating over $100, it'll draw off their status. Anyway, but it's interesting. And new rules. That was a new rule. We'll see if there are other new rules. It seems like there might be. So that is sort of interesting, but you know, they paid the money. I guess they get to call the shots. Any questions on any of these rules or any other circumstances you've encountered rules?
A question is, or if you're having to have a 5% rate, are you throwing in the normal AdWords pool where you have to start deselecting reviews to get your exposures up in more space, or no adult sizes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?
So, really good question. So that is, I think you're referring to the display network where you can choose which sites. So great clarification. You didn't address. The ad grant can only do search ads, so only ads in search,
Okay.
not adding sites.
It makes it clear.
Right. And yeah, the benefit of that is that Google's giving away their own real estate. Okay, so to address your question, what do you do? You've got the forbidden, the deathly suspended email, which they phrase really meanly. It's like your account has been suspended for failure to comply.
Big red banners.
You're a bad person. Like, have a nice day. And then the reactivation email is your account was temporarily suspended to confirm billing and compliance. Like, thank you so much. So sorry for the delay. Since this big. This is big change. So yes, so if you've been suspended, there's a form you can fill out, which I can send the link to, or we can do it at the end of this. But what you have to do is go through your account and make sure that you're in compliance on all these things. And sometimes if you've had a lot of stuff there, it can be helpful just to take a lot of the old stuff out, start back again, one campaign, make sure it's 2 ad groups and 2 ads in each of them, go through all the keywords, make sure that none of them are low quality score, which I can show you how to do.
So you can still get into your account and manage all of this stuff.
Correct. It's just not
Get
running.
it cleaned up and then reapply.
Correct.
And then run. Oh,
Exactly.
okay.
So then you resubmit, you fill out the form, you say, yes, I've done everything, it's all good. You give them your customer ID and you click submit. And in theory, they should reactivate it. You can also call support, which tends to be sometimes a little bit faster, which you can see from your account as well. And they'll tell you sort of what you have to do. Yeah, and typically the suspensions happen typically on the first of the month. So right at the beginning of each month, it's chaos. They're a little bit overwhelmed. And then towards the end of the month, the support team can get back to you much quicker. So we're getting there. It's the 8th. So the busy times hopefully over soon-ish.
But it's getting things back to, what I'm looking for now is kind of an ongoing strategy to manage that.
Which is some work. Yeah, and let me know. Happy to answer any questions on like how do you go about putting that together. We can talk about that. Okay. Cool. Well, any other Q&A? This is my email address, just so everyone has it. I'll write it down on the spreadsheet or on that piece of paper as well. It's just grant@nonprofitbank.com. More than happy to answer any questions. Answer questions all the time, just for folks who are interested in the whole deal. And yeah, and especially if you encounter a weird thing, we've seen a lot of weird things. Like if the sport team says another rule that wasn't here, it's possible that they're wrong. And I'm happy to confirm with you whether or not the rule is right. It's very hard. They have 1,000 things they have to get support for. Yeah, and we really love Google. I don't mean to whatever, but don't look at it.
Well, it's a large
I'm wrong
organization.
sometimes
It's a big
too, I get it.
organization.
Anyway, thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm happy to help anyone. Like, I'm happy to walk through Google Tag Manager if you like, or suspensions, or anything else.
Tell me what Google Tag Manager is.
Absolutely. Google Tag Manager. Well, I will. So, Google Analytics is kind of the base level of analytics tracking. It'll tell you who's viewing your page, your website, where they're going, how long they're doing. But it can only tell you by and large, by default, based on views, like view this page. What it doesn't tell you is, did I view this video on this page? Or did I click this link off of your website to someone else's website? Or did I scroll half the way down the page? Which Google Tag Manager does let you do. It's much more nuanced. So you can set up tracking with Google Tag Manager that says, did people click this button to open up a new section of our page, or did they submit this form to request a callback or something like that? And it's the same structure as Google Analytics. It's all set info that you install on your website. And then what you can do is you can set up Tag Manager events, basically. So someone clicks the button, Google Tag Manager sends an event notification to Google Analytics, and then you can actually capture that and report it as a conversion. So you could have much more detailed conversions for everything that's going on. We have a video about that, walking through setting up track mail link click in Google Tag Manager. It's like 25 minutes long. It's very detailed, it's just on YouTube, which I'm happy to send through. But yeah, super useful. What are you guys planning on using it for?
Well, we're working with our website developer to implement it so that we can so we also have this cross-domain tracking thing.
Oh, yeah.
We've got one site for our volunteer program, and site subdomain for donations, and then we've got partners for the action alerts and all that. But some actions we want people to take, like taking action on an action alert or signing a petition or something. There's no landing page, so clicking the submit link is the conversion we're looking for.
Okay.
That's the biggest one. And for some of our programs, we have some education programs that we'll be putting a curriculum online, and the action for that would be then downloading PDFs. So, download a PDF would be for us.
That's right. Yeah. That's great. I'm sure your web team actually is on top of it.
It's just a lot of ins and outs because with all the different vendors, there's all different places to look at the code. And, it's just over my head.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like Take Action is a third-party website entirely.
Yeah, and so is the donations basically. We have a subdomain, but the actual code on that website is something we can't really touch.
Okay.
So
Might be like an iframe or something.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah. So, that's an adventure. Subdomain, like cross-domain tracking and
Yeah, but hopefully someone else doing that.
that's good. Okay.
So how do small organizations manage this on an ongoing basis?
Yeah.
What's the strategy if you've got very limited resources, but you'd like to take advantage of this? Is it possible to do that, or is this another Salesforce?
I would say no. I used to work for a consulting company that implemented Salesforce, and this is 100 times easier than Salesforce, which is not saying much because Salesforce is like building a skyscraper. But I would say yes. I think it's very doable. What I would do if I was a small organization is I would say I want to spend 2 hours on this. And I'm going to put it on my calendar, the third Wednesday of the month. I'm not going to let anyone schedule over it. I'm just going to go in and play around with it for 2 hours each month. And I'm going to have a little checklist of all the compliance things that I'm going to go through each month just to make sure, double check. And I'm going to look at what's going well. And I'm going to come up with, I'm just going to brainstorm new ads. I'm going to throw them out there. And who knows, might work, might not. I'm just going to throw it out and see.
And do you think you could stay in compliance with that sort of?
I think so. You will not be maximizing the value of it, but you will be. I think you'll be doing the minimum to stay in compliance, and you'll be learning over time. You'll be getting a sense.
I would think the only variable there would be if you had a bad month. Might be one to help you.
That is a good one. Yeah, we do it weekly for that. We check in with each client account. We spend a bunch of time on it weekly. So maybe you do it right at the beginning of the month.
Because you've got till the end of the month to get your conversions up.
Right.
You need a week to see how it's going.
Right. Yeah, so maybe instead of 2 hours, well, maybe it's 4 hours. You do 2 hours at the beginning, 2 hours in the middle. If you need a little bit more time, you do 2 hours in the evening, which is becoming a lot of time.
Yeah.
So if you're due to, then they give you an increase.
Great question. Yeah. They do, yes. They give you, I always get this wrong, it's either 2 months or 3 months, either 60 or 90 days. And at that point, if you're not at 5% by then, they will then suspend you. And also for the CTR, you have to be not compliant for 2 months in a row. So if you can at least hit it every other month, you'll actually still be under.
So for a small organization, it's just getting themselves started, I mean, what sort of support is there for them if they want to learn how to manage this for themselves?
Yeah, there's some decent, it's getting better at having resources out there.
Okay.
We're trying to put together more too, because we realize that like we're a larger organization's tool more so than a really small organization's tool. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy to help in the interim, just like if you have questions and so forth. But there are a decent number of
Where would you go to find those?
I check our website, megaphone.com, and then I would also look at YouTube for videos about, and it wouldn't be Google AdGrants specific, just like how do I manage, how do I set up and manage an AdGrants campaign.
There was a great webinar earlier today that GuideStar hosted.
Yes,
was,
with Google.
Yeah, that was, I think, the best how-to I've ever seen.
And I'm sure that was recorded.
Yeah. But they really walk you through it step by step. That was really clear.
That's good.
Whoa.
That's good.
So how many organizations you have so far?
We have about 120 clients right now.
Now, how long you been doing this?
We've been doing this for 2.5 years. So yeah, 2016.
I'm focusing on this Chicago area.
No, we're all over. Our team is actually all over the country. So we have Chicago, we have people in Western, we have all 4 time, which makes coordinating a really fun thing for a weekly meeting, but it's been good.
One other resource I wanted to plug is N10, the Nonprofit Technology Network, has online communities, and there's a digital advertising community that spends a lot of time talking about Google AdWords. And if you have questions, you can post and people will answer. So that's nted.org/community. And then just look for the digital advertising.
Thank you.
And I did not look in advance, but there is also a high likelihood that there is some kind of webinar on TechSoup.org as well. I can't guarantee that, but since that's school for nonprofits, odds are that TechSoup will also have something. But I haven't watched any of it. I can't vouch for the quality of it, but for the most part, TechSoup stuff I found pretty good. So yeah, so it's another one to check.
One of the challenges that we've had is trying to figure out what are people actually searching for that indicates they want to do something, because we're a Great Lakes organization. Most people who are searching for Great Lakes are writing a book report for school or a report for school.
True.
And even when we drill down into some of the issue areas that we work on, sometimes it's hard. Like right now, one of our best campaigns is on Lake Erie algae rules, because that's something where if people look for information, they're probably angry and want to do something.
Right.
But do you have any advice for environmental organizations or ones that have a problem?
Yeah, I would say right now, can you report into AdWords, or it's now called Google Ads? Can you report into Google Ads when someone has done a petition, or will that be coming with the Google Tag Manager?
They'll be coming with the Tag Manager.
That would be really helpful, because you'll be able to see the list of tracking there. Here are the 600 keywords we advertised, and these are the keywords that each drove at least one petition.
Okay.
And now you'll know, right? Right now, you know that people are clicking, you know that people are petitioning, but that'll be the missing link for connecting it. And that I would guess it'll make it really obvious pretty quickly. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of the words are surprising.
Yeah, and can we also use like Search Console to see?
You can. It's not as good as it used to be. Search Console is this tool Google had where you could. Oh, sorry. I was thinking of keyword research tool. Search Console will tell you people like finding you organically, so totally separate from Google Ads. But for that, I mean, I would say Google Analytics will probably be even better, because it'll tell you these people came through organic search, these people came through ads, and then here's the percentage of each of them that did a petition.
Okay.
And the only key is tying the actual keywords into the analytics isn't good.
Right, exactly. Analytics doesn't do a great job of that. AdWords actually does. It'll tell you they search this, they click this ad. Here's what they did. Analytics will tell you they searched something, and I can tell you what it is. They landed here.
And you go into Google Webmaster, you get a list, and the two don't always move together so well.
And you might also upload for other parts of the US where organizations might be work somewhere in theirs. Other lakes, other, and just kind of steal what they do. Anything that they've done something good. Because I mean, it's not as if you're,
You're not
Yeah.
competing.
you're not, if you're in Washington State, the odds are that they're not necessarily gonna donate to free, right? So, but if they're doing something good, then you can steal. what they're doing.
Absolutely, throw something up for a week, see if it works. That's how you really find out.
Testing the year one.
Oh, yeah.
Quite interesting going.
Yes. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, same here.
Good talking, yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
He's trying to apply to be over.
Tell me if you get it. I said that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Take care.
And for what it's worth, it took, like when I applied, I had, what, 2 weeks or something? And I had to send her like a couple of not nice emails before they responded. So it can take a while.
Life without Tom Downs.
So, well, he was still there.
Oh.
He was still there at the time. 'Cause
Reporters.
yeah, I started, I was December.
Last December.
Yeah. So,
Thanks for the heads up.
yeah. So, don't be afraid to send, like, that's an email because, this is a nonprofit and, they're not necessarily the world's largest staff either. So, sometimes being the squeaky wheel means that they go back to your application. So,
Okay, thanks.
okay. Have a good night.
Yeah, when's 1871 do you
That is a good question. I think they have the ad grant because I've seen ads that they run. Yeah, should check.
Well, Dina's aware of you. I think it's Dina.
Yeah.
Because I posted for 1871 has a Slack channel, and when TechSoup, on its own initiative, came to town and did this whole thing about the cloud. I had nothing to do with it, but I just posted. This is if you're a nonprofit working out of 1871, you want to learn about the cloud for free. This is and that's when Dina is like, you should talk. Grants. You should talk to Linda, right?
Yeah.
Because it was because I was talking after the security sector. This is a little inside baseball, but after the security thing workshop where we met initially, I had asked somebody else in 1871 for your name, and they gave me somebody else entirely that does like digital marketing and other things. So I was slow, like following up on that, and after a while, I was like, phew, I'm glad I did because it wasn't the right person. So it all worked out. So I don't know if you explained this, but I'd be curious to know, how did you become an expert?
Great question. The hard way.
Yeah.
The painful way.
Yeah.
I was
So
supposed
I'm
to.
sure you probably worked for a number of different nonprofits and just
Yeah.
experimentation, and you're like, I know how to do this now,
Right.
and I can keep people from crying on a daily basis. Is that what it pretty much?
Close, yeah. So I used to work for a company called Slalom Consulting, which I was actually going to ask if you knew about. So they do a bunch of big data stuff in like analytics consulting, which was very fun. We built big data businesses for real estate companies. But I started doing this on the side because I heard about it, and it just seemed like a helpful thing. I had started on Hyde Park. You said you're on the south side.
I am. But I didn't say that.
Further south of Hyde Park.
I'm in Chatham.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 87 or so.
So anyway, and I never knew about it. And then I got exposed to it, and I was like, oh man, like this would have been a bit of a game changer for us because we were doing flyers in the middle of freezing budget. And so we thought, like, this could be a hopeful thing. Let's just start offering. I didn't know how to do it. I'd done that once before. Start offering to organizations, see if anyone wants to take us in it. And the answer was no. No one was interested for like 6 months. We tried it. It was at night. We had a sales guy who was working with us totally for free, like purely commission. And I met with him for lunch and I was like, we got it. I feel so bad. Like, I'm wasting your time. He goes, no, this is fun. Like, we should keep going. I'm like, okay, great, great. And then we finally.
How do you find that person? Because like I have a lot of people that are willing to help me, but they really just aren't in a position, you know, to work for pure equity, or they need some kind of money coming in as well, and that's where.
So, what is it? Yeah, we believe in product. We've done it.
He had a different job, and he would take calls for us while he was driving to his real sales place. Because he knew his schedule in advance, so he'd schedule it. Anyway, it finally switched when we started offering a free trial. We now do. We get the grant and for a month for free, and the organization says, "This is helpful. Keep going. We'll pay you on your retainer or not helpful." Have a nice day. And that's what switched it. Because people were happy that they were just they wanted to learn about it, but they didn't particularly want to pay to find out whether or not it was a good idea. They wanted to know if it was a good idea. Yeah, and then the rest is history. So,
You say how often this is not a good idea?
it is not a good idea probably 25% of the time. The
Yeah.
organization we work with. Yeah. So it's about 75% and continue to be clients. The other 25% doesn't make sense. For a variety of issues, website that's not ready. There's not enough people searching for what they need.
Yeah.
If you're
Too esoteric.
right, you're too esoteric. Right, other things. The board doesn't get it.
And is the ongoing management the only service that you offer, or do you ever offer just the one time, let us help you get this set up?
Yeah, we do not currently. That type of thing would be like, let me know and I can informally help you out. We don't have it as an official service just because it is so hard for us to deliver a good long-term experience doing startup. And the nonprofit world is so small, we can't set people up for non-success. We can't officially take responsibility for it. I can informally be like, hey, of course, but we can't as a brand. Just because the start is such a small percentage of the overall work. Unfortunately. So that's how all we get.
And if you are a large organization, how much time do you devote to?
Yeah, a lot of time. Yeah, I mean, hours each week.
Depending on your size, for Rotary, this is like a full-time job. Or I mean,
Yeah,
they're obviously paying you, but maybe not quite a full-time job.
it's a lot, certainly. And it's even more because the new compliance rules, it used to be less, now it's a lot. Typically, our clients hire us because they don't have someone who happens to specialize in it, but they do have the financial resources to want to do it really well. And if you're a Rotary, the opportunity cost of not doing it is enormous. So you're going to spend the whole budget, and it's like, just can't do that. So yeah, that's typically how it works. Well, thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
So
thank
fun.
you. Thank you for coming out.
Helpful.
Happy
Appreciate
to
it.
do anything I can to help.
And y'all have your Tech Thursday information.
Yes.
Our next meetup is September 12th. Our speaker is going to be Cassie Swolowski, and that's going to be about Salesforce. So come on out. I'm not sure exactly which conference room it'll be in, but I'll probably reserve it after I leave tonight, and that means it'll probably be here. And then for October, I am working on getting documentarians to kind of come out and help you learn how to think through, making videos, telling your story through video, to get more donations, to explain to your board, or if you have some kind of grant, maybe you can also provide video to show how your programs are actually functioning and that you're actually providing value for their money. So that's the type of thing that program will be. So I'm hoping that that's what it'll be for October. I haven't heard back from anybody yet, but
Never know.
yeah. And then for November, we have Carolyn Novar, who's going to come out. She is the mentor for nonprofits here at 18. Very nice lady, very smart lady, has a lot of experience, and she has just recently started what she's calling the Chicago Fundraising Accelerator to help struggling nonprofits really strengthen, develop a talent pool and really strengthen their ability to fundraise. So those are what's on schedule. And then just a general question, if anybody, has an opinion, let me know. A lot of people say for December that it's just not even worth having an event. So I posted holiday party ? So if anybody would be interested in a holiday party, let me know. Or if you just not worth anything at all in December, let me know.
Birds on his own. Birds on his whoever shows up first.
And our other long-term project that we talked about, but we haven't gotten back to for a variety of reasons. One of the things that we would like to do as well is put on a nonprofit fair to try to bring out nonprofits, but also people that might be interested in volunteering, people that are grantors, foundations, things like that, to try to bring all kinds of people together in one space, so that rather than just learning about who people are through online forums or other types of people, might be able to have more success if there's a bit of a personal touch and where people can really get to meet other people and learn what their missions are and why they are trying to do what
Have
they're
you
doing.
worked at all with the organization called Chicago Cares? And worked with a group called Women on Call, and they recently merged with Chicago Cares. But their whole thing is to match volunteers with organizations. And they had an event in the spring that was kind of like a speed dating for nonprofits. So there were volunteers there and nonprofits. We each had a table and people could go to 5 or so throughout the night, and you would stop and talk with the volunteers and things like that.
How did it work out from your perspective?
Not so well for me. I was looking for somebody to run an AdGrants program, and obviously my account got canceled, so that didn't happen.
It's like you got a better room.
Yeah. Well, glad we were able to help you tonight.
Yeah. It's an interesting sort of setup. People, what kind of volunteers that you get. So it's all. I think it's always worth telling the story and seeing who you might connect with.
Yeah, this concern we're thinking about will just add visibility to a lot of nonprofits that just are doing great things, but they just don't have the eye.
And maybe if we can, also help promote you, and 1871 tech startups that are helping nonprofits, and help put on maybe some workshops and other things, besides just
We know that if we program the hire people, so this is part of our workforce development. So let's just grow and let's get some more people employed.
Well, I'm gonna go catch a train, catch a car.
and we will follow up with you. And
Thank you. Unfortunately, September, I believe my board has decided they're going to meet on the 12th.
Okay.
Or you have to.
Well, once again,
Your insight on
you
something.
know,
That's not
if
so
you
bad.
are, you know,
But I
interested
appreciate getting
in
this.
Salesforce, that's what Cassie has to say. I will try
Connect
to
with you.
make sure that we record the whole thing, trying to remember to bring my,
But at least I
charging
can do
for
something about the line, so
Great to meet
Okay,
you.
so
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for your
as
time.
soon as I saw that.
Appreciate it.
Last
Yeah,
night back.
figure out how to make it work, you know?
Well,
If fourth quarter, we're gonna, we want to do this, that's part of it, when by the space, now, there's not that limit, so,
it's gonna be
Yeah.
zeros.
so, Todd, nice to meet you. Thank you for organizing us.
thank you for coming out, it's lovely to meet you in person.
Do you recall? Directions. I'm good.
So you designate. You designate a stretcher.
Sure.
Which stretches you
There's a
want.
silver man line there.
Sum up
When I was
whatever
doing this
time you
sport
want
there,